I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. I'm not saying you're the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope the dumbest person in the world doesn't die. Cosmopolitan, goat's milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating. Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. They wanted it like an axe once.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
So where are you on doing away with the filibuster?
I kind of like the filibuster. I didn't when I first came to the Senate, but a senator's job, I have learned, is not just to advance good ideas. It's to kill bad ideas. And I think back under President Biden of all of the bad ideas that would now be law had we not had the filibuster. And maybe the president's right. The first chance they get, they'll get rid of the filibuster. I don't think that's automatic, because I think there's some Democrats, they're not saying a word, who like the filibuster.
Earlier this month, but I honestly think this is just worth another listen. Y'all check out what Kennedy said. Now we're supposed to get into the main part of today's video on this show of what Senator Kennedy just said, but this right here is worth another listen, man.
Found that under President Biden, they were spending $3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. We took that out. The Congresswoman says, we're going to shut down government till you put that back in. We found $500,000 of American taxpayer money for electric buses in Rwanda. We found $3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti. I kid you not. I'm not making this up. It was in the budget under President Biden. We took it out. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez in the socialist wing, the loon wing of the Democratic Party, says we're going to shut down government until you put it back in. I'll just read you a few more that we took out. They are demanding we put back in. $6 million for media organizations for the Palestinians. $833,000 for transgender people in Nepal. $300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho. $882,000 for social media mentorship in Serbia. $4.2 million. We took it out. The Congresswoman and the socialist wing of their party says we got to put that back in for the open government. $4.2 million for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people in the Western Balkans and Uganda. I could spend the rest of the afternoon here. We took all that out. It upset Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. It upset the socialist wing of her party. And now that wing of her party and the Congresswoman are threatening all other Democrats and saying, you've got to shut that government down until we get what we want. And part of what they want is to add this kind of stuff back into the bill. And that's what this fight is all.
All right, here we go. Here it is, man. Oh, boy. Getting about Senator Kennedy on CNN, and Epstein's in the headline.
All right, joining us now, Republican Senator of Louisiana, John Kennedy, sits on the Senate Judiciary and Appropriations Committees, among others. Senator, thank you so much for being here. How do you respond to those comments from Thomas Massie that essentially, if you vote to cover up for pedophiles, you've got cover in a Republican primary? He's essentially saying the president is going to help people who vote with him and vote not to release these files.
Well, here is the way that my people here in Louisiana see it, Casey. My people think, and I agree with them, that Epstein was a pig, a P-I-G pig. My people think that this is no country for creepy old men. My people believe, and I think they're right, that Epstein trafficked young women, some of whom were minors, to himself. But here's the issue. My people want to know who else, if anyone, did Epstein traffic young women to? And if they were punished, how were they punished? And if they weren't punished, why? Now, President Trump has turned that issue over to Attorney General Bondi. And I don't know how she is going to answer that question for the American people without releasing all the records. Maybe she can, but I just don't think this issue is going to go away until that issue is addressed and answered to the American people's satisfaction.
Yeah.
And I may end up with a sombrero on my head for saying that, but that's the way I see it.
Sir, if this passes the House, and based on Manu's numerous interviews with Republicans, it sounds like this is going to pass, potentially overwhelmingly. Should the Majority Leader, John Thune, put this on the Senate floor?
I don't know what Senator Thune will do. I don't know what he'll put on the Senate floor. The Senate has this rich history, for better or worse, of doing its own resolution. So I don't know what if any, Thune. I think he ought to put it on the floor. I think this issue has got to be resolved one way or the other. Unless,
and how would you vote on it?
Before, it depends on what the resolution says. I'm labor, not management, Casey. Thune's going to draft it however he wants to draft it.
If it says what the House bill says, release all the files, would you vote for that?
I'm not going to answer that because I don't think it'll be identical to the House if Thune indeed puts it on the floor. But I just don't see how this issue is going to go away. Maybe Justice can answer the question, but I asked Kash Patel in front of God and Country in committee. I asked him. I said, "Look, who else, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to?" And he said, "We have no evidence of anyone. It's not there." Well, I don't know how you prove that without releasing all the files.
I understand that the language is going to be different, and I'm sorry to keep circling back to this, but just to put a finer point on it, if a bill to release the Epstein files, to force the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files, came to the Senate floor as a general matter, would you vote yes?
As a general matter, I think I've said repeatedly, I think they ought to. I don't think this is going to go away, and as a moral principle, I think they ought to release the records.
Fair enough. Do you think that there's enough Republicans in the Senate who feel similarly to you to have this bill pass in the Senate, or a version of this bill, I should say?
I don't know. I suspect every Democrat will vote for it. I don't know. We haven't talked about it much in the Senate. We've kind of been dealing with this shutdown. I think some Republicans will, some Republicans won't. But I just don't think the issue is going to go away until it's addressed by Ms. Bondi, to whom the president has assigned the problem. And I don't have a solution for her. I don't know what the answer is for her to do other than release the documents. I don't have a solution. I certainly admire the problem, but I don't have a solution.
We heard Thomas Massie there speaking to his colleagues and say, listen, this vote that you're going to take is going to last longer than President Trump's term, right? This is something that's going to be on your record if you go into the future after Trump has left office. Do you think that seems to imply that President Trump is a lame duck? Do you think President Trump's a lame duck at this point?
Well, he can't run again, yes.
And do you think the Republican Party is treating him as such? Because for much of the first year, he's not been treated the way a lame duck president often is. Well,
I don't know how to answer that, Casey. I mean, to some extent, every president is a lame duck because there's no guarantee they'll be reelected. But in this instance, I think the Constitution's pretty clear that a president, whomever it might be, can only serve 2 terms. Now, the president's only in the first year of his second term, so he's not a lame duck in the sense that he's got 3 more years. I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't consider him a lame duck. Now, if he had 30 days left to serve, yeah, he'd be a lame duck.
I suppose I'm asking in the political sense, right? At what point do people start acting more in their own interests than that of the president because they can see more clearly the future beyond him than the one that they're sitting with him that moment? But unfortunately, we're out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it there.
Boy.
Senator John Kennedy, thank you very much for your time, sir.